Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another Strange Bro Jim stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim. And we're gonna be, well, I would say, I'm gonna be covering some coding today, but um, I didn't, um, I didn't get a uh, database management tool to work on you know, to look at and manage the web pages database at this particular moment in time. Right now, don't really have a tool uh, at my disposal. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to do a search. Obviously, it's just going to be, my face for the most part, um, because I'm just going to be searching for information kind of thing. So, um, but I'm going to try to see if, what like I could just go for like the one tool for the one database, like, let's see, WordPress database, I believe is MySQL. Um, you know, yeah, MySQL is the one that they use. So, which, I could download the MySQL, application to try to, just access, its own database and that's sure, right? We can, go through that way if we really wanted to. Okay, but here's the thing. Uh, I'd rather have a tool that, you know, um, that if necessary, I can switch between type. I can switch types. So I want something on my system that sure, I can use it for this particular project of the WordPress, MySQL. That's great. But it would be kind of nice if I had a program that can handle like a different type, in the future if I have to. Okay. Just as a, you know, um, I'm not a database administrator, so I don't pretend to be. Um, so, I'm not like, hey, I'm managing all these databases on, as a side gig. No, I'm not doing that. But you never know when, like, hey, if I ever do find a job, managing, someone else's database, then they might say, hey, we just have a standard SQL, MySQL, standard SQL. So I'm gonna need to have a tool to kind of handle that, or maybe it's one of the other types of database, programming. So um, Oracle, SQL Server, Postgres. I mean, it's like um, so I'm trying to see if there's something that works with that, and hopefully free as well. Navacat works with Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, and Postgres. I think it's like $200 for the premium extensions version. But that was 7 years ago. Old question. Oh, this one's 16 years ago. Okay, never mind that. that doesn't really work. Not looking for that one. Um, yeah, this isn't answering my question at all. Um, I don't think those are what I'm needing. I keep on seeing the DB visualizer, universal database tool. It connects to all popular databases. Okay, see all databases. Okay, and it does connect to the MySQL. Postgres, Oracle, IBM, SQLite, Microsoft Access. I mean, it does definitely seem like it has quite a bit of, possibility of, connecting to multiple different um, database types. Salesforce. So, interesting. And it is downloadable for free. Obviously, you know, the company would probably love if you can actually, if people can actually purchase it, but I'm broke, so so I'm not, I can't afford, making any kind of purchases there or anything along those lines. So, I know, like, typically whenever you purchase, like, or, whenever you can purchase, like, the pro version, you have, like, extra tools that they give you and stuff like that. I get it. Um, but, hmm, interesting. They have subscription based with support, apparently. All right. Although I don't really know exactly what they mean by, like, what is it that you get with the full feature set, and what's the standard feature set? What's the difference between those two? It doesn't necessarily tell me per se what both of those um, entail. Okay, features. Here we go. So self-service support via user guide and support portal. Yeah, that's part of the free. That's fine. Or, as well as the others. Basic support, email support, 60 days email support. Okay, that's the pro. As well as the premium. Premium support, full period plus upgrades below. That's the premium, which the upgrades below is issues addressed directly by devs, unlimited ticket-based priority support, guaranteed response within 1 business day, issue escalation to product development team, hotfixes, emergency patches in case of critical bugs. So, I mean, that's premium support could definitely, work especially if you're, having to um, modify it, over time. So, and if you have like a large company that needs like 50 users working on said databases, which I don't know if you really should have that many users in your database. They're saying $164 a year. Yeah, it looks like a yearly subscription on that. Um, Pro full feature set plus premium support is $229 for the first year, and then $99 onwards. So, I mean, that's not bad of a price, and if you're in need of, if you need to manage you know, your company's database. So, but configurable UI monitoring, SQL history, reference graphs, connection management, SSH, JDBC support, extended database specific support. This is what free does not have though. Table management, procedure, function, package, and trigger. Database scheduling, events, and jobs. Table data viewer and editor, table import and export. Query builder is not included. On-site commands not included. Explain plan not included. Charts not included. Command line interface not included. I mean, command line interface, okay, no worries on that, but no query builder, huh? I don't know if this one is that great then, because like it gives you methods of like connecting to the database, but I don't think it gives me very many tools to work with said database. Connection management, reference graphs, SQL history, monitoring, configurable UI, runs on Windows, SSH, generic support, and extended database specific report, but it doesn't, it has no table management, it has no procedure, function, package, and trigger to work with. You don't have a query builder. It's like, it doesn't look like I can. Uh, it looks like this particular DB visualizer is good to just kind of keep an eye on a database, but actually building it or, working with it doesn't feel like the free one has any tools that can really work with that. So, so yeah, I think I'll have to skip on this one. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure, like, hey, um, you know, eh, this visualizer might be fantastic to use, especially given the fact that, you have like multiple different databases to kind of work with, but um, I need tools that I can use to work with the tables that I have, or to build on the tables that I have. So I need to add the um, I need to add fields for like the name, the city, the state, the nationality, so on and so forth into it, um, so that when um, the website does go live, to handle um, to be able to kind of handle the um, the data coming into it. I'm gonna need to be able to um, I need to create said fields. I mean, you're gonna need to create the fields on which the database is gonna need to collect the data and save it, right? So that the login can work properly. You have your login information, and then um, and then um, we can kind of go from there. So, but DB Visualizer doesn't feel like it's a good one to use. Um, let's see. Data Grip is a SQL editor and advanced database client tailored to meet the specific needs of database developers. It delivers a range of database tools and packaged together, and shows extensive support for different database engines like MySQL, MariaDB, SQLite, Mongo. DataGrip provides context-sensitive code completion, helping you write SQL code faster. Okay. DB Forge Studio for SQL Server. Forge for SQL Server is a powerful IDE for Microsoft SQL Server management, administration, development, data reporting, analysis, and a lot more. Okay, so not useful for any others, SQL programming, or SQL languages other than the SQL Server. So not really that useful for me right at this moment in time. DB Maestro, DevOps for database solution provider. Okay, hold on. I need to fix my hair and headset. Be right back. All right, sorry about that. Um, So that's probably not going to be useful. DB Maestro. DevOps for database solution provider. Maestro solutions enable organizations to run database. Okay, that tells me nothing of what you work with. Flyaway by Box Fuse is an open source database migration tool. I don't necessarily need to migrate. I just need to work with what I got. So, um, hmm. MongoDB is open source, non-related, NoSQL distributed database written in C++, so that's not really going to help me out. And, MySQL, we have Redgate. Hmm. SQL Developer can also connect and interact with non-Oracle databases like IBM, MySQL Server, and MS SQL Server and MySQL. Hmm. I mean, I've used SQL Developer before. Hmm. I mean, if I can connect it to MySQL, then that would be kind of nice. I mean, I used the free version of it anyway, and it allowed um, for development using it. Obviously the Pro had, more features and stuff like that, but I mean, I was still able to do a fair amount with the free version. So, I mean, the fact that it's able to do the MySQL is kind of nice. And I mean, Oracle, knows what they're doing. So, um, hmm. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna, download the Oracle SQL developer. Now, hopefully this doesn't necessarily screw up my um, uh, this doesn't necessarily screw up um, the stream or anything along those lines, or makes it difficult to watch. Um, I don't think I have VS Code anymore either. Or at least I don't think I do. So I don't think I really need to worry about that. Although let me double check that real quick. I mean, I had worked on VS Code prior, but that was prior to the Windows collapse that I had. So I don't know if I had re-downloaded it or not. Let's see. Oh no, wait. I think I was using it before for the um, yeah, I was using it before for the Terraria. Duh. Trying to do the Terraria mod that I kind of stopped working on because I couldn't find the necessary information about the guide. And really didn't really want to look into the trying to figure out where the guide was, or where to get the information about how the guide pulls in specific information. So um, all right. I mean, I don't know if I really want to. I think I kind of want the SQL developer to be kind of its own application. I mean, I know, hey, put it into the VS Code, but I kind of want to have it as its own standalone. Let's go ahead and just down. Right. Let's see. Downloading. Now, hopefully, again, it doesn't mess up the stream too much, but then I'll see about trying to link it in with the WordPress database. See if I can get that kind of working. You not, I'm not like super experienced here, there, folks. So I mean, I'm not one that I'm like, oh yeah, I do this. I do this. You know, all the time. So I'm super knowledgeable. No, not really. So okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's really that difficult of a. Um, it doesn't seem like it's that difficult of a installation. It never felt that way before anyway. So over here, file, and then we will just do the That's going to take a while. So, um, then I need to look into how to um, connect it to um, the WordPress. So, and the one thing that I that's kind of irritating about the whole extraction process that I find sometimes is the fact that they will add like an extra folder on the outside of the extraction, you know, which I guess I guess in some cases that would be kind of necessary, especially if they um, like have like a bunch of files, um, like it you know like if the zip file is just all the files and not like you know um, but in this particular case like it zipped up a folder within the zip file kind of thing. So it's not like it's not all these additional folders and stuff like that, and it's like so it'd be just kind of nice if I didn't have to deal with the fact that it was like, hey, we're dealing with an empty folder. There we go. So that's taken care of there. So let me start up the installation. So that's fine. Okay with Oracle taking usage information to work with that. So okay. So now we need to kind of create a connection with the other uh, with the database here. So we're gonna call it Hosote database, and then let's see. Let me look into trying to connect with that. Hold on. Okay. And verification code. Second while I click. Database right. Okay. Verification code here. Go. Now, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Remote database access. Oh wait, no, I don't think this is the right. It's the right information. Um, 15 press. Okay. Control panel. trying to see. Like I'm okay. So like I said, I'm not super experienced with this. Okay, I don't do this on a normal basis, right? So um, so right now I'm looking at the WordPress to see um how. Okay, let me try to explain. What my mind's going through right now. Okay, I have the Oracle SQL developer. I'm on the welcome page right at this moment in time. I know that I need to, connect, you know, have a new connection, to be able to connect with, um, you know, with the MySQL. So, um, although database type is stating that it's, purely Oracle, which I don't know if I really want to do that, because it's, you know, I kind of need it to be a MySQL. So, is there a way for me to change this over to a MySQL? Because, obviously, um, I'm not necessarily connecting straight into an Oracle database. I'm trying to connect into MySQL. So, hmm, seem to be seeing a lot of possibilities here at this moment. Okay, let me just do a search for MySQL. I don't know if I really want to migrate. That doesn't seem like a good process. But that's not exactly something that I'm to. Unless I'm not necessarily understanding the migrating. Which I mean could be possible. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not like super knowledgeable about this, so it's not something that comes in my mind. But although I'm currently kind of out of time, but um, I might need to look at this a little bit more. Apologies on everybody, going, what are you doing there, Jim? I get it. I know. Um, but so let me try to explain, my problem right at this moment in time, right? So I now have SQL Developer ready to go, you know, what I want to do is be able to use it to connect into the WordPress so that I can access the tables and add to the tables and, you know, put in the necessary fields and all the specific data for said fields and so on and so forth. Like I want to develop that database to be able to to handle, the givers and the receivers. Okay, what information is going to be stored on the database for them, and to kind of be able to handle, removal of them and addition, like adding data, removing data, so on and so forth, right? That's, you know, that's the process. That's the idea. Okay. Um, but right now, like I know I have the SQL developer, and I know that I have the WordPress database, and they're two separate locations, right? And I'm just trying to find that way of connecting the two, so that, I can access the WordPress from the Oracle developer, you know, but I'm not like 100% sure on how to go about doing that right now. So I'm trying to research again on as to how to go about doing that. Um, the when I click on um, the new connection, it says database type is Oracle, and it's like, well, wait a minute. The database type that I want to connect into is the MySQL. Is this going to cause a problem for that? Like, am I going to have to have a different style of database connection? Am I going to need to like switch like the welcome page over to something that is strictly MySQL based? Like, how do I go about doing that kind of thing? So, um, let's see. Connecting to MySQL database for hmm, migrate all or part of third-party database to Oracle. You have the following basic options. Migrating using Migration Wizard. Copy and select the tables to Oracle. However, before you perform any migration actions, you may want to prepare by setting any appropriate migration user preferences such as date and timestamp mass and is quoted identifier on. After you migrate by using Wizard or by copying tables to Oracle, verify that results are what you expected. Problem is what I'm kind of scared about is you're saying, migrate to Oracle. Are you like like I don't necessarily want it to change like the data and not be able to like transfer it back over to the MySQL afterwards. Like if for example, my concern is like if I migrate, am I taking all the MySQL information, put it into Oracle, it changes the data to, make it look like a Oracle database, and any changes that I make on the SQL developer, it won't be able to go back into the MySQL because it no longer has a method of going about doing that. That's why I'm a little concerned about this because whenever I think of migrate, I think, hey, we're gonna like fully change the information over. Um, it's not a matter of like a connection style. Migration to me sounds like, we are having to change all the information over to a, different, database style, database type, you know, instead of MySQL, it is now a Oracle database. And, my concern about that is, well, okay, I understand that the SQL developer, it wants everybody to use an Oracle database. I get it, but you know, if I'm to move information from the SQL developer back into the WordPress, I'm gonna need to have it transfer data back there and have it work properly. I'm just a little concerned about that right at this moment in time. So that's all. Um, hmm, maybe it's not really changing that up a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to call it at this point though. I'll have to look at this a little bit more on it. Um, uh, and in context of databases, migration refers to the process of transferring data from one database to another, essentially moving data from an existing database to a new or updated database. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to have access to, just connect. I don't necessarily want to migrate. So, um, connecting a database in SQL Developer. Okay. Under Tools, Preferences, and Databases, there is a third-party JDBC driver path that must be set up. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at that. So, Tools, Preferences, Database. Okay. Assuming third-party JDBC driver path. Okay. So it's looking like I'm gonna need to try to find this um, MySQL JDBC driver path to be able to connect to it then. I was kind of hoping that this was going to be a little bit easier to deal with, but I guess not. So, okay. So I'm going to need to go to the MySQL website to get the JDBC connector. Okay, I'll need to save that information for later. There we go. SQL C driver path for SQL developer. Okay. Um, yeah. Thankfully for this one, there's two entries here that's talking about like, hey, you need to kind of go to this website to download the to the connector anyway. But I mean, yeah, both of them are pretty much doing the exact same thing. So, um, but yeah. Now this is a fairly old article modified 7 years ago. Originally posted 16 years ago, but still, one would expect that, it's still around for the most part. Sure. But I think that's about as much as I can do right at this moment in time. I'll go ahead and kind of close on down on this because, you know, ran out of time. Kind of close up shop here a little bit. So, okay, let's go ahead and close that down. And the desktop for creating a shortcut. This in the programming folder so that I can access it later. There we go. Okay. So now I can, you know, work on that again tomorrow to tackle that. So didn't get much done. I know. And obviously, I didn't show anything. But I hope you all kind of um, understood what I was kind of trying to go for. Like, I don't want to change the information over to Oracle and not have it change back into the MySQL. Okay, I want to be able to just access MySQL database for the WordPress and be able to modify the data using the SQL developer, and that should automatically change the database on the WordPress so that I can use it for data later. Okay. Now, I'm going to be faced with a lot of potential problems with that because, again, I'm not a database expert, and I know, for certain that, um, you know, potential for people to have information hacked and stuff like that. And that's kind of a scary process if I'm trying to do this in a way that, um, like, for example, um, I've never built an enterprise-based web page before to allow for people to um, pay for subscriptions or anything along those lines. Okay, haven't had any experience with that before, so um, I'm you know there's a I have a little bit of fear on that because I don't want people coming after me and saying you screwed me over because some hacker got into my site and potentially stole like credit card information or something along those lines. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Um, so yeah, it's um, you know, so I got to be careful how I try to set this up. Okay. And I need to try to prevent the um, any kind of damage being done to everybody. Now, um, hackers getting into the into the database to find like the users, the receivers, and even the givers. I mean, I'll do what I can to try to stop them, but obviously it's just gonna be myself, and I know that I'm me against the world. I don't know. I don't have 20 years of experience on my side to help me out with this. Okay, so that's why I'm a little scared about this particular venture. But I mean, um, like I mentioned before, I want to get it to a point where it's kind of self-sustaining. So, um, but yeah. But that's gonna be it for tonight. We'll go ahead and like continue this tomorrow. So look forward to that. Um, Thank you for watching, even though it was just myself. But we'll continue trying to work on this and build this up. So, but that's going to be it for tonight on this portion. So I'm going to go ahead and close on down, and we'll move on to our next portion of the stream. So, um, So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Catch you next time.